My name's Christopher North. I've been tattooing off and on for 25 years. Got into it for a while, got away from it for a while. Came back to it last year. Been with Koolsville now for almost about a year this week. Moved here to Las Vegas from Longview, Washington. Started as a piercer in Kansas City and then moved to Washington State. Went to work in a buddy of mine's shop. At one point came to me and said, hey, I want to learn how to pierce. I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's swap apprenticeships. So we spent about 2 years together teaching each other the crafts. But we traded everything off, and then I kind of dropped the piercing and kept with tattooing. You know, back in those days, the piercings weren't as popular. Yeah. You didn't make near the money that some of the kids, the younger people are making now doing the piercings.
What drew you to piercings to begin with?
It was just an opportunity that opened up for me, a door that opened for me. I'd been getting tattoos for over 20 years at that point.
Okay.
And was starting to get some piercings. They were starting to become popular, and a door opened up with an opportunity to go do an apprenticeship for that, so I took it.
So was it just piercings, or did you do any like body modification?
At that point, it was just piercings.
Okay, because nobody was really like gauging their ears.
No, I mean very little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no one was like splitting tongues.
Right. I mean, a few people were there here and there. Saw some of the people that do the hooks and the hangings. That was starting to come about that time.
What is that called? Like suspension?
Suspension, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's really
I've
crazy.
been to a few events where people have done the suspensions.
So you've seen a ton of changes.
Not only in the piercing industry, but also in the tattoo industry.
Of course, yeah.
They're doing stuff now that we wouldn't have even imagined back then.
Like what?
Well, I mean, like the realism work and
sure.
The glitter tattoos and the embroidery tattoos.
Yeah.
That's stuff we wouldn't have even thought of.
How do they do those glitter tattoos?
I have no clue, but it looks like it's tattooed with glitter.
When you made that transition from piercing into tattooing, how long until you felt like comfortable and you were tattooing people?
I would say probably a year into it, I was feeling pretty confident. I did a lot of, back in those days, I did a lot of like cartoon tattoos, Popeye and Betty Boop. I actually won some awards with that type of work. Then I crossed over and got into more of the traditional, the old school traditional tattoos, and that's kind of where my love is.
Okay, like Sailor Jerry type
Jerry.
Stuff. Yeah.
I got to spend a bit of time with Lyle Tuttle.
Really?
Met him at some conventions, and then we'd meet every year and spend a week or two together.
Did you learn stuff?
I learned a ton from that.
Tell me about Lyle Tuttle.
He was a great man. Very funny, very easy to get along with. Just a wealth of knowledge, for what we had in those days. I mean,
sure.
I'm sure he was looking at the stuff we were doing then, like I am looking at these young guys now.
Right.
And gals that are putting out stuff. I'm sure he was looking at us going, where's this coming from?
Yeah, because he was making stencils like out of acetate.
Right. I've got a video still at home that he's got this giant tattoo machine that actually works. It's really funny to watch it.
So did you ever build your own machines, speaking of which?
I did not.
Never?
I did not. We used to make our own needles.
Okay,
But I had a love for the Micky Sharpz machines. I've still got a couple of them from the 90s.
Yeah, whole coil jammers.
Yeah.
You've obviously hung out with some cool people. You've learned some really amazing, craft technique, right?
Right.
Outside of that, how would you say that tattooing has changed your life?
I really didn't think that I would go back to tattooing. When I left the last time, I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth for it. Didn't think that I'd ever go back to it, but again, a door opened up and I was offered an opportunity to come back to it, and I thought, I think it's time to go and try it again. I think Bobby and Mari with Koolsville, I think they're geniuses in what they're doing with these Koolsville shops.
Without a doubt. There's nothing like it.
Right, and I don't think it would work anywhere but Vegas. It's really helped me bring myself to another level here in Vegas. The atmosphere here. It's a pretty relaxing atmosphere. We're very fast-paced.
You said you spent some time in Germany.
It was
right?
Army.
Did you get tattooed overseas?
That's where in the military is where I got my first professional tattoos.
Awesome. What was it?
I had an eagle on my shoulder that I did right after jump school.
From what you remember, was there anything that stood out about getting tattooed overseas compared to America?
The guy that tattooed. I got a couple from the same guy over there. He was in Stuttgart, Germany, and I remember he had a very heavy hand.
Okay.
But the tattoos were dirt cheap back then. I think I paid like $20, $30 for each of the tattoos I got from him. Again, it was the old coil machines. It was very quick and easy. There was a language barrier there, so that made it more interesting, but we got through it and had fun doing it.
In all your time tattooing, what would you say is the strangest or the craziest tattoo that you've ever given someone?
I tattooed
A girl's vagina.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, actually, she put it in a contest and won an award for it.
What was it?
It just said enter here with an arrow pointing down. Yeah.
Full color?
Yep.
Yeah? And she sat like a champ?
Oh yeah, she said no big deal at all.
Did she love it or hate it?
She loved it. She loved it. It was fun.
God, dude. Right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. And she just didn't care.
Well, thankfully I knew her.
Okay.
We've known each other a while.
Isn't that
so.
more weird?
Nah.
No?
Nah. This is Kris. Thanks for joining us with Koolsville YouTube. You can come see me at 2525 North Las Vegas Boulevard right now. So come on and get tattooed. We'll see you again next week.